Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today we are focusing on lower body and we're going to target the glutes, the hamstrings, and the quads. So here I'm starting off with cable kickbacks to get everything activated, and on this one just remember to keep your core tight and not to let your lower back arch and not to kick your leg up higher than necessary. You're only going high enough to feel that contraction and get a good squeeze before lowering back down. Now we're moving on to some glute bridges, and you want your feet in a position where when you reach your arms out, your fingertips can touch the backs of your heels, and that'll set you up to where this will target your glutes more than your hamstring and your quads, although those muscle groups will also be involved. I supersetted the glute bridge with a glute bridge hold, and then there's some knee abduction, which is going to target the side glute area. And while you're in these positions, it's important to keep your core tight, keep your TVA, which is your transverse abdominis, engaged so that your lower back does not arch. Next is going to be more of a sumo stance dumbbell squat, and on this one we're keeping our upper body in a fixed position and only moving the weight with our legs. On this one I decided to do more of a dead stop, so I'm setting the weight down with each rep before picking it back up. And just remember to keep your core tight, keep your lats engaged so that your upper body doesn't round forward. Now we have an RDL, but we're going to do it with a wider stance. In the wider stance, you'll feel it in your hamstrings, but you'll also feel it in your inner thigh, which is what I like. I'm making sure to push my knees out as I lower. I'm keeping my core tight, my back flat, and I'm only lowering enough to feel the stretch in my hamstrings before coming back up. And just remember, you're not lowering yourself with your torso, you're pushing your hips back in order to lower yourself. Now we have some alternating or reverse lunges, which is going to target your quads and your glutes. And because this is a single leg exercise, your glute medius, which is that side glute muscle, is going to be turned on extra because that's going to help stabilize. Again, making sure your core stays tight throughout this exercise, and make sure that as you lower, your front knee does not cave inward. You want to keep it pushed out to the side as if you're trying to resist someone who's trying to push your knee inward. And last of the weighted portion is going to be hip thrust, and on this one we're keeping our core tight, our TVA engaged, which is your deepest core muscles. Your feet are going to be directly under your knees, and your gaze is going to be forward to where your chin is basically tucked to your chest. Next, we're going to do some burnouts with some bodyweight exercises, and the first one we have is a rainbow, which is exactly as it sounds. You're basically drawing a rainbow with your foot, and you're going to tap your toes on the ground every time you reach the bottom of the rainbow on either side. Keep your core braced and keep your hips over your knees on this one. Then we move into some kneeling abductions, which again is going to target that side glute area. And same as before, you're keeping your core tight, you're keeping your knees directly under your hips, and you want to try to keep your leg lifted high enough throughout this exercise to be level with your torso the entire time. And to finish off, we're going to do some reverse crunches. And if you notice, before I go into the exercise and lift my legs, I'm engaging my TVA, which basically decompresses my stomach. You can see it getting flatter, especially on that lower belly area. And this is going to help you to engage your core properly and not let your belly bulge out or cone as you're flexing your core. That's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.